Hello Internet, welcome back to some more exorcism runs of Jetbuster. Sadly, part 2 of another failed run. However, getting better, I suppose. I suppose that's what we can add. A lot of the earlier complaints we had of sort of, standing in the way of some bullets and just getting pummeled to death by bullets we should otherwise dodge, I guess at least for this run, kind of was managed. We had, at the very least, entered the later parts of the games in a lot better state than we were prior, or at least in the previous exorcism run. However, this still is a heartbreaking run on its own. We'll come around to it towards the end. After we were briskly defeated, I certainly held my face in my hands, for a moment longer than probably I should have as an adult man or an adult human being. But I think that's what the exorcism runs is all about. We're going to some dark places, I think. Ultimately, we've said this a million times. It very much a momentum-based game. And it's also kind of lengthy. We're looking at maybe a half-hour game, 25-minute 25-minute long game, where we can't just get away with putting up seven men, 7 extends, 7 lives, and then expect to kind of breeze through the rest of the last levels, as we will see. But there are some positives. It's not desolation quite yet. We had spoke last time with some weird game theory and mad science about what should we do to improve our chances of winning. Should we go to maximum medal score? I don't think we're quite back to the basics quite yet. I think we can kind of continue what we're doing, kind of recover where we were prior, where we're at least reaching to the final level, final boss in some variety. I think at this point that's a success. If we have a miserable run and die at the last boss, I'm still gonna be okay, that's fine. Certainly a room to improve, but there's no need to kind of reinvent the wheel right now. Crossing into stage 2 here, and as we're going to notice, I apologize, but maybe these first couple levels are, particularly the first level, are going to just be almost photocopies of prior runs. You may notice in the first level, we just kind of stood there with our multi-shot, our sort of spread fire in the middle, top of the screen, just killing everything that comes our way. It's only until maybe the 3rd level and onwards where we're going to have to worry about it. Worry about surviving. In fact, there's maybe a couple areas in the end of this level that maybe we should start worrying about. But one thing we need to keep in mind is we are fully loaded on bombs. And if we do ever die, when we will, when we lose a life, I suppose is the better way to word that, we are rewarded with 2 more bombs. Look at that. Look at that. So, one thing to always keep in our kind of keep in the back of our heads, something to always keep in our mind, when we come to a tricky area, or we find ourselves cornered or making some bad plays, we got to use our bombs liberally. I would say even if we really shouldn't, we should kind of just reflex that sort of bomb defense, because right now, I think we're wasting that bomb essentially. We got a bonus point out of it, which is great. I can't say whether or not you get a bonus point for picking him up regardless, but the bonus point certainly does help towards our next one up. This section, when it starts getting a little fast, does get a little silly. And as you can see, we have no problem kind of getting through some bombs just to, keep our streak going, our times 5, which is close to a times 6. We kind of want to tip that over before this boss fight ends, just so we don't lose all that progress. As we know, once you finish a stage, that whole bar empties on whatever multiplier it's on. So there we go. Up to 6. Kind of happy with that, with an extend as well. Up to 6 lives. 6 lives, 4 bombs. So yeah, entering this boss phase going, okay, we don't like these patterns. We're going to use a couple bombs, but that's fine. But we certainly still have a couple more bombs in the wing as well. And good thing we do. Put ourselves in a really stupid position there. Overall, a pretty decent fight. Hey, we can't complain. As we score a nice no miss bonus for not being tagged with anything there. And primarily because we were, I think, kind of using our bombs as willy-nilly as we really should. There's no sense hoarding 3 or 4 of them only to be killed and given 2 more in return, so. If we are to die, if we are to lose a life, let's do it without any bombs in stock, at least put up a fight. Level 3. Have a really good eye of, as I was saying, right? Had a really good eye of the sort of center lane of this level up until maybe catching that crossfire. And luckily bombing ourselves out of danger just at the last second. Maybe it shouldn't have really gone to that point, but maybe feeling a bit too comfortable there, but at least up until that moment felt like we were like, okay, we're kind of in the zone here. We know what we're we know what we're maneuvering through. Until we weren't, Level 6 medals. Certainly picking up our extend there, but I was saying certainly a good time to start piling on the points. These sort of money crates here. But it does make you wonder, well, not about that, but makes you wonder of like what happens when we are like, times 50 million and picking up all these power-ups. What happens? Looking to pull our multiplier back up a little higher. It's at 5 right now. As it seems just fine enough for our work. And then reaching the boss here. 6 lives, 3 bombs, 1 per phase. So, keep that in mind. If we're in a bad spot, by all means, throw a bomb out there. Just don't die with anything in the canister, If it's all, if you can help it at all. Easy pattern here. You can just kind of graze that as long as you're in the middle of the pinks. This can be a little tricky as there are openings, but fucking stupid right there. Holy shit. Stand there and watch the slowest bullet in the world just kind of hit you. So there we go, flushing 3 bombs down the toilet. Savage, disappointing loss of a life there. Another rather simple pattern. We were doing just exactly what we shouldn't have done. But to my defense, it was certainly one of those periods, or certainly at a moment where, I'm not looking at my character. I'm not really looking at the boss, but I'm looking at that area above my character where I'm like, okay, I know where the bullets are going to go. I know what the pattern is going to mature like, and it's just going to graze by me. And it didn't. It just hits me. So, being lazy, being callous, that's being fucking stupid, but also just guessing wrong, seeing wrong, and getting beat up way too much for level 3. Like, we're down to medal 1. This is mean, here we are, like, seeing some sort of bullet pattern we've never seen before because we've been able to kill him prior. So, couple lives down. That really sucks. And I'm not so sure we should have lost even 2. You know, we got tagged twice, was it? That probably could have been 2 bombs just easily, right? However, one good thing to note about this run is that we do recover our weapon power and our metal multiplier rather quickly. Primarily because of this discovery right here, is that we've noticed that, Arashi, away from his cons and his negatives of being, maybe a bit too fast, he has, I would argue, the best damage output in the game. As much as I've fought against Arashi being my main, I stick with him just because everything he touches dies, So the discovery that we have on this run is something like here, where we have to dodge far less when we're using our main fire. And these UFOs just die. So it's far less dodging that we have to do, and who knows, we can maybe rack up a decent multiplier when it's all said and done. But yeah, these big UFOs come up and they just perish. So certainly something to think about moving forward, that we don't necessarily worry about cashing in our points here. Let's just worry about a big nasty multiplier for the next level, and worry about some of these weirder enemies. Despite the fact how easy they are to kind of, predict their bullet patterns, don't even worry about it. Just, push it on to the next level. Like we're at level 7 right now, but, just seeing these enemies just drop before it even starts, you can't get better than that. We can. Well, that's the thing, is like we can rattle on about what we should do about a metal multiplier all day, but if you just kill everything, dodge every bullet, then that's, it's, who cares? Who cares about all that extra nonsense? Another thing to consider ourselves by, having a great metal multiplier in this stage is that by some chance that we are killed once or twice in this boss fight, we're not in a bad position next round or next level for that matter. We're not, spending the whole level, beating up enemies we rather shouldn't be. We can go back to our alt fire and score all kinds of awesome points. And really, so far, so good. Not a pattern I like. Using our last bomb. So if we are to die, I accept it. Take me into your arms. There we go. If we can die like that every time we die, I would be completely fine. That, unfortunately, a bit more, unexcusable. Yeah, don't move backwards into bullets you've already dodged. That's a bit stupid. As I open up my sponsored product of the evening, Schweppes lemon lime sparkling water. Please, Schweppes, reach out and send me $1, huh? I tell you what, sparkling water is pretty damn good. Especially in these summer months. I mean, and I wouldn't even say summer, but year round. I don't know if I'm just old or just over it, or diabetic as well, which, yeah, there's that. But, soda, I'm not much of a soda drinker anymore. It really does feel, I don't know if this is like the old geezer in me, but it does feel like this is way too sweet for me. And just, the sparkling seltzer water that's, slightly flavored, it really just kind of hits the trick all the same. Alright, we're recovered up to level 6. Now that we're done with our product placement. Squarespace. Do you want to make a website? Whatever. That's right. They're the first layer of hell when entering the exorcism runs is a video ad, right, for Squarespace and Schweppes sparkling water. And just when you thought your ad block was going to catch everything, right? Just when you thought. See, perfectly used, perfect use of some bomb cowardice, like, oh shit, this is getting a bit too heavy, let's use a bomb. That's perfectly fine, I think, because we're getting level 7. We got a couple lives even back from the last level. So second to last level, second to last boss. This guy isn't necessarily the hardest guy. However, there are some patterns to worry about. This guy he fires those 2 patterns, all very well dodgeable. And even this seems pretty okay as long as you're grazing slightly to the left or right. I'd love to be close so we can hit him with the majority of our shurikens all at the same time, but yeah, he can certainly just sit there and get beat up all he wants. Probably use that last bomb a bit too premature. Because this guy is the granddaddy of the stage's boss. But like we're saying, if we're going to die, we want to die with our bombs expelled. This can be pretty nasty. We do not want to be where we are when this happens. Thankfully, we do have a bomb. But yeah, we do not want those big walls of bullets pinning us into that corner. So, good thing that we grabbed all those extra lives, because certainly needed them. It's a flush down the toilet, right? But going on to the final level, we're in a healthier spot than we were last run. Three lives compared to our 1 in our prior exorcism run. And we're wondering here as well, with our level 3 medal, is it worth it to, what version of our weapon do we want to use? Does it matter? Do we want to go for the extend? Do we want to just go for the death? Up to level 5, up to level 6. 6 seems to be a good place where we're going to stick on the multiplier and see how it works. This guy's an easy guy to kill, as long as you know he's coming and you can kind of get out in front of his sort of initial onslaught, which we did, thankfully. Easy stuff. Graze back and forth, don't worry about it. But now we're coming across the large spaceships, like we in the prior levels. Do we just kind of go for the quick kill? Bad, awful dodge. Luckily, right before we're able to be, sort of powered back up. So at least when it comes to our weapon power, we didn't lose much there. Multiplier still is actually at 5. But here we are deploring the sort of strategy we had before of just like killing them before they even give us a problem. You can kind of see bam, 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 bam. Not a bad strategy to go. Although we are tempted to kind of go for our bonus points, To what regard, we'll have to wait and see. Do we get that last second, extend that we want? We're looking at our score, and it looks like it might be a little further away than we really would like. Yeah, so maybe a bit too hopeful there. But reaching the the final boss with 2 lives instead of the one we had prior. So we can see how this goes. The first pattern is very basic, but it is very fast, or at least grows in speed here. And you can see where we have invulnerability frames, and thank God we do, because it is very tough to kind of put yourself in the right position. And you can kind of see where you want to move, but yeah, Arashi again. Yeah, Arashi moves so fast that, yeah, you want to kind of dodge that sort of closing in, bullet pattern, but you're not given a lot of time to kind of commit to your move. So here I am, tears into my hands. But overall, I can't complain. It was an improvement. There is some progress to be made, especially when it comes to some of the later stages and when it comes to just like strat-wise. So although, we can sit, cry in our hands and just go, fuck my life, it's not all bad. And we'll recover. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff. We'll play some more Jetbuster in the damn future.